What's up, YouTube? It's Shala. I'm back here again. This is the first time I'm shooting for a second video in one day, so bear with me, please. This is a completely different topic, so I apologize if you guys are thrown off. However, it is in relation to, one of the reasons that I walked away. One of the reasons that I walked away was because of the unapologetic corruption of the Democratic Party. Okay, and especially as when it came down to the DNC lawsuit and issues surrounding that as well. One of those issues was the death of the DNC staffer, Seth Rich. Now, I did a video a couple of weeks ago that had to do with an update because there was going to be a news conference that was supposed to actually be revealing that there was a witness involved in this, but anyhow, that went, and I mean, if you want additional information about that, I encourage you to check out Matt Couch. Matt Couch has been the one who has pretty much really been following and on top of this story. But I came to me the other day, and I guess this obviously, it's really difficult to try to keep up with all the news that comes out. Or just to keep up to date with all the news stories that comes out. And sometimes you might miss a couple. And so this actual story came out in May of 2018. But it just showed up on my radar the other day recently. And maybe I got it from Matt's feed, but I'm not really sure. But anyway, this story is the title. This is reported by Gateway Pundit, a journalist named Alicia Powell, and the headline for this story is Obama admin attorneys teach with Seth Rich's brother, sue private eye team investigating Seth Rich. So that's the name of the article. So basically, there are two different entities that are suing Matt Couch, who pretty much has just been, well, I'll tell you a little bit more about him if you don't know, but just so you know, a team of private eyes investigating the death of Seth Rich are facing two major lawsuits prosecuted by high-powered Democratic establishment attorneys for uncovering evidence that insinuates the slain DNC staffer's murder was politically motivated. Aaron Rich, the brother of Seth Rich, filed in a lawsuit in April of this year against America First Media and accusing conservative activist Matt Couch and other individuals and media organizations for peddling false and unfounded claims. Okay, the lawyer representing Aaron Rich, Michael Gottlieb, recently concluded 4 years of service with the Obama administration. He served as special assistant to the president and associate White House counsel from 2009 to 2010, where he focused on national security and judicial nominations. A second attorney prosecuting Aaron Rich's case is David Boies. It's spelled B-O-I-E-S, so I'm calling him Boies because that's easy for me. And he works for the Schiller and Flexner firm, and Boies has been involved in various high-profile cases in the United States, including United States versus Microsoft Corp., Bush versus Gore, and the defense of Harvey Weinstein. Wow, Harvey Weinstein? Against sexual abuse allegations. These are some pretty powerful attorneys representing the little Seth Rich family who had no money. Okay. So going on in this, in an interview with the Gateway Pundit, Matt Couch questioned how Rich, whose family couldn't afford a private investigator, is able to afford the high-powered legal team comprised of Obama's White House counsel. How? How were they able to do that? Where did they get the money from? I don't know. This is Aaron Rich who gets to represent against our team. These, by the way, this is the comment of Matt Couch, the guy who's following the story. He says, and I quote, "This is Aaron Rich, Seth Rich's brother is Aaron Rich, gets to represent against our team. Can you imagine what it would charge to hire Harvey Weinstein's defense lawyer? I don't know how Rich hired these attorneys. The Rich family couldn't even afford a private investigator. That's why Ed Butowski offered to pay for Rod Wheeler. Rod Wheeler is the black investigator, private investigator that I mentioned in my last video that was called, his name was Seth Rich, by the way. That was the name of the video. But now they can afford the most expensive and powerful Democratic law firms in the country. How does that happen? How? This was supposed to be a botched robbery, right? So the suit is the Democratic establishment's attempt to stifle independent investigations, Couch argued, because if the DNC truly wanted justice for Rich, they would have offered reward money. Why haven't they? I mean, even WikiLeaks did. He worked for the DNC. Why aren't they invested in finding out what happened to him? Things that make you go, right? All right, so Couch argued because if the DNC truly wanted justice for Rich, they would have offered reward money to find Rich killers and would have availed its server to the FBI for the alleged hack. It's amazing we haven't seen anyone from the DNC. No one, not even Hillary, has cried out for justice in this murder. Not one Democratic politician has mentioned Seth Rich. Think about that. Not one. None of them. I'm sure, the vested interest is they just want the story to go away. Okay? Couch's investigative team, they're no slumps. They're no chumps either. Couch's investigative team, this advocate got some power behind him. However, of course, the others have money and influence. I don't know the situation, but Couch's investigative team is comprised of former veteran law enforcement officers who have long-standing background and investigative credentials, including Frank Whalen. He's a former head of the NYPD homicide for 23 years. Bill Pierce, who has worked as a private investigator for 24 years in multiple states. Hannibal Moot, investigative researcher and editor of Bull Truth magazine, and current Metro SWAT commander, whose name is anonymous. Matt goes on to say this in this interview, the DNC destroyed the servers. That's probably true because, where are the servers that the Russians hacked, right? Where are they? We know that the FBI has never investigated them or looked over them, and no analysis from the FBI, but the Russians did it. The Russians hacked, right? At least that's the story. So his comment was, the DNC destroyed the servers. He said, if you really thought you were hacked by a foreign entity, why would you not go to the FBI? Why would you go to an outside firm? Why? Right? And so some of the most profound revelations that actually I found here, and I did not know this is new to me, and so maybe some of you who watch this channel or are following this case closely knew this, but I didn't know. But I just had to point it out. So the other thing Matt goes on to say is that, why Rich's family doesn't want to get this case solved. Why don't they want to get it solved? And he goes on to say that they wouldn't give the private investigator Rod Wheeler Seth's phone, the phone records, the laptop, he continued. So why would the family not be complying with the private investigator whose role was to find out who's responsible for this? Why? Very strange. Very strange. Matt goes on to say, I just don't understand why they don't want to know who killed their son, who killed their brother. Whether or not you believe their botched robbery narrative, I don't. There's still a murderer on the loose. So one of the most profound things that I did not know about that I'm going to go on to say is that in this article, in which you're going to find in this video, the link's going to be below, where you can go ahead and read this information for yourself. Matt goes on to say, but it's not a conspiracy theory that the DNC issued checks. The DNC issued checks to the cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike hours after Rich was fatally shot, Couch contends. So hours after he was shot, there was checks issued by the DNC to the cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike. We found 2 large payments, one the day after Seth Rich was murdered, and the other the day after Sean Lucas was found mysteriously dead, face down in his bathroom at 38 years old in D.C., both connected to the DNC, Lucas with the DNC lawsuit, and Rich was a DNC employee. You start putting all of this together. How am I conspiracy theorist for presenting you with the facts? Sean Lucas, Seth Rich. When I did my first walkaway video that has about 83,000 views right now, I mentioned the DNC fraud lawsuit. Sean Lucas was the one that filed that. He mysteriously was found dead face down. Okay? So as far as my discussions on this whole Seth Rich thing is, I'm just going to continue to follow Matt Couch, and I'll report from the stories and the updates that come that are reported from journalists that are actually following and covering this. And I'll bring it to you because I know that it's hard for all of us to keep up to it, and everyone is not covering it. So I know I am involved in it because if you don't know, I am a complainant in the DNC lawsuit, which is actually still active. Okay, so that's really it, guys. I hope you're all well. I just got this very, very exciting invitation just before I got on this video to talk to you. And all I can tell you is that walk away is really, really having an effect on people. And you know, I got a great email. Great things have been happening. I've been meeting wonderful people through it, and I'll continue to do so. And again, thank you for bearing with me. Like I said, again, this is a different video, but I had to just get this out there. In the event that you guys knew it already, you know, kudos. I didn't, but, you know, this is just me following up with, you know, any information that as it pertains to the DNC. And so much. So there's so many avenues and reasons for people to walk away. This is atrocious. It's atrocious. And all the facts are on the record. Okay? And, you know, people have been commenting, telling me how much they love my 80s stuff. So, you know, I had to whip out the 80s shirt for y'all. Because, yeah, it's all about the 80s, baby. All right? So I will talk to you guys soon. Love you. And if I do not get another video out to you by the end of the weekend, have a wonderful weekend. Do great things. Be great. And I'll see you next video. Bye.